I have your attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house, and an exciting show indeed. You guys know I love to document the history of Pulse Chain, and today we're going to be documenting the end of the first day of the ProveX sacrifice. It's going to be pretty fun to see the results for day one, and it's coming up. By my count, probably another 15 minutes until the end of the 24-hour clock, based on when Richard Hart posted the ProveX sacrifice. So about 15 minutes time, we're going to cover that live. So that's pretty cool. We've also got a little discussion document by Vitalik Buterin, a recent influencer on X. So we're going to go through that and discuss that a little bit too. So I hope you guys enjoy that. It's going to be a bit of fun. But in the first case, don't forget to share the show around on X. That'd be really, really cool. So very, very cool. There's lots of live streams and lots of X-based discussions going on around Pulse Chain, around ProveX, what's going on, what's the next steps, all that good things, and so on. So we're going to continue our discussion from our first live stream earlier today, and we're going to have a little bit of talk, a few of the possibilities what's going on here. So, we've been in Discord discussing a lot of different options and scenarios, and it's going to be fun to see it all play out, to be honest. You've got the naysayers, you've got the maxis, everyone is there, and we like to listen to all the voices, right? Got to be open-minded and take in all the cool points. The other thing, before we do that, though, we're going to get into Peacock. Liberty Swap, of course, pumping today. The first one to sort of lead the ladder back up on Pulse Chain, and we're going to talk about that first as a sort of a pre-show before we get into the ProveX sacrifice results, which is coming out probably in about 15 minutes or so. So let's get straight to it, guys. Don't forget to share the channel around. That'd be great. We've got Get Hex in the house there as well. Yeah, definitely get in the chat, guys. Definitely get in the chat, and we'll catch you in there. All right, let's go to the first post here. We're going to go through Liberty Swap because that chart was pumping. And let's get in and have a look what that looks like right now. And we're going to look at the chart first, of course. Let's go there first. Which one should we use? This one here? Let's go. All right, so we've got the chart here at the moment. You can see that Liberty Swap, they're making a big move on the US price from 1.1 cent all the way up to 1.7 cents. Very, very good zone there. And you can see some big volume coming in only a couple hours ago. And here we are. It is currently at 1.6 cents at the moment, just starting to move up. So that's the US dollar mark, but we're looking at the pulse mark, and I think that's even more dramatic. It is indeed. Look at that. That's even more dramatic. And this is the hourly chart. The other one was 15 minutes. This is hourly. Let's go to 15 minutes just to give it a similar comparison to the US dollar. And we can see that we were at a ratio of 478 pulse per peacock. It rallied all the way up to 691 pulse per peacock. And it's now currently sitting at 646 pulse per peacock at the moment. We're up 15% at the moment on the 24-hour, but we were up about 28% or so. So very, very cool move there. And in fact, we just take the ruler, we can see that we're actually up even higher. We're up 44% on the pulse ratio, guys. 44% in the time when we had 30% plus pullback on Pulse Chain overnight. So pretty insane there. Pretty awesome stuff. Let's go to the US dollars. Now, we knew that Peacock has a treasury. They've been earning a lot of fees, guys, with this bridge issue. They did have to pay extra on the Pulse, because of the high gas fees. Remember the three issues that we faced? We had the bridge get clogged down, shut down. We had high gas fees that affects the bridge. The high gas fees also affect people bridging into Liberty Swap, into Pulse Chain, because of the gas spikes. They get stuck in the meme pool, right? And then we also had Liquidity Swap ran out of some of its pool's liquidity, and it had to bridge in some stuff as well, but then had to wait in the bridge as well. And so that was an issue too. So that is definitely something that happened, even with their big liquidity pools. And when you get these seriously big events, that can happen. Now, there are a few little alternatives like Hyperlane that you can do USDC through the HUSDC pair. That's a sort of an alternative bridge now to Pulse Chain. We'll be seeing, interesting to see the use of that moving forward as well. But at the moment, we've seen some big buys here from the Peacock community. Pretty awesome. So some nice stuff happening there. Get encouragement. Don't give up now, guys. We didn't come this far only to come this far or something like that. Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's true. So we're on the road. No, I'm in that camp. So that is Peacock. Let's have a look at some of the updates that have had. Even Crypto Connoisseur, another connoisseur. Then we had Liberty Swaps. There's so much chaos on Pulse Chain the last 24 hours. It's absolutely beautiful. Our coins will do well, brothers and sisters. Stay strong. Focus on the projects. Take the good prices the sellers are giving you. The game sets the rules. You choose your reactions. Make your moves with clarity and purpose. Do not let the chaos cloud your judgment. There we go. So the Liberty Lady is all over it there. So pretty cool. We saw new liquidity is the target, adding new liquidity, and then we saw some more updates here. So everybody, every crypto market cycle needs fundraising platforms and ICO style launches to bootstrap new liquidity. Doesn't matter what you call it, whether it's an ICO, an IDO, or whatever. You want to join fundraising that is not overcrowded at the market bottom when everyone is poor and cautious enough. The future dilution is limited. As the size of the funds raised grows, the risk grows with it. So that's a little bit of insights there. Coinbase is running ICO style launches for its projects. Binance and CZ will step in with new IEOs. And of course, the fresh sacrifice season has already started on Pulse Chain. Well, that is the case. We're going to cover the first day's results in about 12 minutes time. So that is coming up. GetX says, what are you saying there? I missed now. Where did he go? He's still around. He pops in. He was in the other day. He's still one of our moderators, and he's in America doing this thing. Just taking a bit of time out, no doubt. I got my bag of Peacock. Nice one there, GetX. Nice one. All right, so that is some of the updates there from Liberty Swap. Let's keep going. Welcome to the new new Peacock standard. Let the Pulse Chain bull begin. Well, here you can see Pulse Chain is down, but Peacock was up. So there we go. And after all the buying spree, that Liberty Swap says, I bought so much, I'm so bullish, and it hurts, but I'm buying more. So indications more is going to be bought up, and they've been having big volumes, right? Even if they've had to clear the backlog after the high gas fees and liquidity, they have probably turned over quite good fees with this huge volume spike. We saw it spike to $46 million on Pulse Chain dexes across the dexes, at least that much, probably over 50 million if you include other dexes not on the dex screener. And Liberty Swap's been getting quite a bit of that as well. And they've got a little bit of insights about that. I'm so bullish on Pulse Chain and pump ties, little coins. And we've got the old Peacock video, which is such a classic now. Very awesome stuff there. Now, 29 minutes ago, this is crazy that someone had to trigger a full chain sell-off just to shake a few weekends out of their Peacock positions. Peacock LP just got thicker with another 22 million pulse added in the last 3 hours. Liberty Swap is handling an all-time high trading volume in both ETH and stablecoins. Woo! That's bullish, guys. That's exactly what you want to see. Fewer bridging out, many are bridging in. Isn't that awesome? Fewer bridging out, but many are bridging in to pick up some of these, some of this leftovers from the Pulse Chain pullback that we had. So that is very bullish there from the team. So some good stuff happening there. And then finally, I think we're almost up to date on chain, One Dream, Pulse Chain, and that is beautiful, right? So kind of cool. So Liberty Swap obviously also helping buy some Peacock. Not only buy Peacock, but Pulse as well to boost the Pulse Chain system as well. They're doing what they can, and that's pretty exciting. So I thought that was pretty cool. That's ended up being one of the highlights. You can see it's still moving up here. And at the moment, if we go to the deck screen at 100 trending, we can see Peacock pretty much at the top, along with this new 402 bank DApp, which we haven't checked the security around yet, so still have to do that. But that's also up at the moment. But Peacock was dominating just earlier. There's Peacock there, taking number 2 and 3. We've got other tokens doing well as well that are tied into Peacock. P-Tiger, of course, from Crypto Tiger God, Zero Trust, and many others here. I think Phoenix possibly, but I can't remember. We've got a few others here also starting to move up a little bit up at the 10% mark. But Peacock there moving the way. And I said to you, what is a defensive crypto? What is one that can do well in a down market? Well, it's one that's a big bridge, right? That's taking a lot of the bridge volume, earning fees. It's one that has diversified income as well. They've got validators and all sorts of stuff. It's also one that is expanding its swapping ability and going multi-chain. And we know there's ramping up also the amount of cryptos that they're offering as well. We know that coming up this weekend is PDI, right? So PDI is coming up. So we'll just have a quick look at that again. PUSD is coming up, and also wrapped ETH pulse chain to ETH mainnet, and that's going to be a mega big one. We all know that's going to be a big one, right? In fact, they're very excited about it. A lot of people want to come on to pulse chain with the ETH, and it's going to do no more official bridges. Obviously, there's a few alternatives out there, but this is going to be super fast and also easy to use because it's going to be with all the other stuff that people are bridging over. So pretty awesome, guys. And what's their basic strategy at the moment, right? That's generally been building up the LP to make a stronger peak and dollar mark. That puts Pulse Chain on the map just for that. It drags the whole Pulse Chain up, regardless of Richard Hart, regardless of anything else that's out there that is bullish for Pulse Chain. That is what we can see. So it's very exciting. Remember, limited supply, 15.5% burned already, over 200 LP pairs. This thing is just scaling up. So it's a great defensive crypto, probably the best on Pulse Chain. Arguably, there's a couple others that are also pretty good. Probably Vouch is up there. And it's really trying to isolate those ones because they have like this big buying power, which is pretty exciting. So, and it's scaling up, which is exciting to see. Now, the staking in December, we're expecting to have meme coin airdrops. That's going to be very sought after, I think, with a lot of the top pump tire memes and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of things coming down the pipeline there, and we're excited about where that will go. All right, so that's Liberty Swap. That's our precursor. We're coming up in 5 minutes' time to the full day. Results for Richard Hart's Prove. So we're going to jump away from Liberty Swap and Peacock, which has been leading the market, as you can see today. And we're going to jump into Richard Hart and, of course, the ProveX. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm excited. Can you sense the excitement in my voice? I'm always optimistic. I know Richard Hart's playing a big game. I realized that he had the SEC after him for 2 years. He had to fight that in court. That's really put a downward pressure on Pulse Chain. We also saw that significant capital was used to try after the 31st of July to try and recover Pulse Chain, but we had just too much sell down pressure, fear of the legal aspects to it, and also the big sacrifice set, right? The big whales that really do set the market price on Pulse Chain, particularly in the down market, right? And so, for the biggest whale on Pulse was sitting at, I think it was quadruple 041. Then that's been setting the tone in the market, and that's kind of where we're even under that now, right? We're even under that now. So that's kind of setting the tone there, and it's going to be true to some degree for ProveX, although ProveX will have, arguably a smaller supply, and that will be able to be pumped even easier, right? So I think that's some of the teasers that we've had from Richard. So here we are. This is the update that we've had, and we've got, you see it launched at 2:48 at my time, and it's currently 2:40 right now, so we're 8 minutes away. I said 5 minutes, but we're 8 minutes away from that posting when he launched the ProveX there to the world. So kind of cool. And so no sacrifices will be credited from the Pulse Chain network for anything. That was the key one takeaway, right? Including Richard Hart core tokens, right? And that's from any network as well, even on Ethereum. So none of Richard Hart stuff is done. We've seen people do it. Seen people do Hex token, I think Ink token, and in some significant volumes. We saw 10 million Hex get sent there. Do not send those. I don't know. You're at the mercy of the future there. Maybe you'll get a flat rate. I think that's what he did last time. Potentially gave a flat rate to people that were doing the wrong thing. So we'll see how that goes. Now the max bonus is 3x, but it's really the way to think about that is that the whale price is the price. If you think about it that way, right? They're getting a 3x bonus, so that is the price. Everybody else is paying a higher price, right? So that's the way to think about it. Don't think about the fact that if you go up the ranks, you're getting a higher bonus. While you're not. If there's people above you, they're setting the market price, right? Essentially. Now, also in markets, when we have down markets, we can also see people sell below cost, right? We see that on Pulse Chain. So that's always also the case, right? That's normal market behavior. We can see that in a downtrend. Now, just like when we go in an uptrend, we see people pay well in excess of the original cost price. And that's when we get our big percentages and our big X multiples. So just a bit of food for thought there. We've got Eddie in house there. Did the Pulse Chain cause bottom yet? Well, we're not looking at today right now, but maybe we'll look at it a bit later, Eddie, because we're just focused on the ProveX right now, but we will check that out. Appreciate that. That's a big one. Now, we can see the prices in the scrolling bar, the ticker bar below, so you can check that out on the scroll bar. You can see where Pulse is right now. In fact, I see where, let's just go to Pulse. It's just coming back around. Let me have a look at it in a minute. But you can see a lot of the projects down there at the moment, and we've got some special projects on there, RhinoFi, Emmett, and Heartwood Dog on the ticker list as well. So big shout out to all those teams, RhinoFi, Emmett Farms, and Heartwood Dog. 3 very different teams, one with the Pulse Treasury, one with high yield APRs and EDI, and the other one, of course, the anime series on Pulse Chain. Pretty awesome. So we can see coming around there is that Pulse is at 2,500. So we get to 2165. That was the second highest low. We want to get back over 2,700. But we've got a different chart pattern now playing out on Pulse. So we'll just have to see. It's going to be volatile over the next 3 weeks for sure with the flat rate. So that is coming up there. Let's quickly go to ProveX and have a look at the results here coming in on the final. We've got 5 minutes to go, but this is essentially the close to the end of 24-hour period here at $792,000 US in the first day. So let's just do some fun maths. Now, this is not taking into account the rates and everything. But let's just do a fun math that if we got 792,000, we times that by, I think it's 60 days, then, that's going to be something like, 47 million. So that'd be at the top of the minimum range that we had on our poll of 50 mil. So yeah, that's the play. Now there are different scenarios. Some scenarios that I've seen that we're going to discuss, and we're going to look at Vitalik Pulsarin's post there, because it's a good document good discussion there to discuss not everything, but a few things that might be really, really interesting. So we've had 15.86 billion total points. We've got 2,271 total sacrifices and 460 unique tokens and 24 networks there. We've got 19 days and 22 hours and 15 minutes to go until the next rate increase. So this had already been ticking away before Richard posted the link, of course. So this is kind of the one. So you guys can come back and look at the Kryptonite show and see what the day one results were. And that's why I love archiving the Pulse chain, and of course previously archiving and much of the Hex stuff as well. So definitely check that out. This is the Kryptonite show, and we're doing some good stuff here, I think. So that's pretty cool. Let's have a look at the leaderboard. Well, the leaderboard there, we've got a new entrant at the top there. $40,000 is coming in, and they got almost 1.2 billion points there at the moment. That's the top wallet, 921, and it looks like they've come in with largely USDC there, probably Ethereum, because most of the stuff's on Ethereum there. We've got another one here, not sure why it's not showing the dollars up, but they've got 908,000 points. And then we've got 20,000 and number third spot here. They've got little army patches here, which is kind of cool, showing their ranks. And they've got the top there, 2.9495x. So they are the price setter, if you think about it, from a cost point of view. Everyone else is paying more for the tokens. So, and of course, we've got how many? 2,271 sacrifices in day one results. So pretty cool. We're coming up. We've got 3 more minutes till technical close, but this is essentially where we are. We will give it one more refresh. But that's technically where we are, and we're only at the beginning, right? First day. Look at this. So we've got a little red line here. See that? So the red line is just sneaking through, going through the right, through the thing here. So at the moment, we're just about to close the first day off. It's pretty cool. And we're ticking it away there. Now, obviously, I'm talking about when Richard launched. The tick over on the day is, ends at 1 o'clock or something. So pretty cool. Yeah, it's going to be fun to see. So, and then of course we've got all the way up to the 2nd of December, and then we're going to be going. The cost for the base amount is going to go up by 6.5%, and that's going to double up every day. So you go from $1.1 for 10,000 points to $1.06, then $1.13, $1.20, all the way, and it starts ramping to that second phase. And then where the volume ranking ends, and the volume ranking being up to 3x bonus, and then we're up to $7.39 there on the base there, plus the volume bonus there. And then we get into the final couple of days, right, of the pool, and we know he likes to get 85 to 95% of the tokens, so we'll reasonably expect that to happen as well, and dominate the token supply. Just remember that. Yeah. How much more money will be made? So if he had about 650 million, will he get another 50 million out of this process? Does it matter to him that he gets much money out of this process relatively? He is targeting the non-Pulse chain audience. And so, it's free marketing, free promotion, free new capital raise, a new technology token. It's a layer one fee for that to outdo the centralized exchanges. That's all in play right now. So yeah, it's currently one. So based on when he posted it, it's exactly now 24 hours after he posted it, 2:48. It's now 2:48 here. So that's 24 hours, guys, since he launched it. Obviously, the day is on its own day calendar, daytime. But let's do a little refresh just to get the latest right at the end of when he posted it. There it's just jumped. Look at that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. To 868K, guys. Woo-hoo-hoo! 868 day. And looks like we're just chiming in over the day two there. Isn't that awesome? So pretty awesome. Yeah, day two. Yeah, it looks like we're ticking over there. So yeah, we got 17.38 billion, 2,276 sacrifices, 406 tokens, 24 networks. That is the play right now, and looks like we've chipped over into day two here on the red line. So was it 249 and day two there. So obviously all the same rate all the way through, guys, all the same volume, bonus, competition, and that's kind of where we are right now. Now, recently, you can see the recents here as well. Ethereum, they're dominating, $755,000 in Ethereum. Second best is Solana at 41,200, Base at 29,200, BSC at 28,284, Arbitrum at 99,800, Polygon at $1,800, Optimism at 1,000, Avalanche at $563, Bitcoin at $328. Keep a lookout for the Bitcoin, guys. Could be a wild card there, right? Obviously, we're expecting a lot with Ethereum there. Sonic there, $243. Ripple, $240. Tron, $200. Dogecoin there for $15. Dash, $2.83. Plasma, $2.69. Blast, $0. Hyperliquid, $0. Come on, Jack Levin. You love your Hyperliquid. Let's get some stuff in the Hyperliquid. Pulse Chain, of course, $0 there, which is kind of funny. That's nice, shouldn't even be there, right? Bitcoin Cash, Cardano, I guess that's big. Oh, that's Pulse Chain, but the bridged-in tokens. So that's for Pulse Chain, bridged-in tokens. That's why. Litecoin, $0. Monero, $0. Stellar, $0. And Zcash, $0. Those are the list there. Now, question mark. Will we see some marketing coming out? Obviously, Richard's going to be live streaming in a day or two. Will we see some marketing start to come out across the internet? That'd be pretty interesting, right? After the live stream, will Richard re-engage many of the influencers who are not so much in favor of the process because they don't get to see the whole game, right? They don't get to see the whole game that Richard's playing. And Richard's already signaled along with Bretep that, Pulse Chain season's coming. Now, this is a 60-day sacrifice phase, so arguably it could be after the 10th of January, right, when it finishes, or we might see something happen in December as well. There's nothing stopping Richard from rolling out some magic in between there as well to get people really excited, right? Excitement's key, right? Momentum's key. So, you get that, you rip off posts. Let's do another refresh here on the sold out. So we got a big jump there before the end of the day from the looks of it. And we're now on day two. Let's go over to Vitalik and Pulsarin is a new influencer, came around in August. I don't know, it could be. Well, sometimes when you get these guys pop up, you go, is this a Richard? Is this a Richard one? You never know, but we're certainly going to go through it. We got Miss Dean's in house there. So is PulseX over? No, PulseX is not over. It's still ticking away. In fact, PulseX had a mega burn today. Something like $50 million of burn. Oh, sorry, not $50 million, $50,000 worth of burn. So it was huge. About I think 3 billion PulseX or something. It was pretty decent burn today. So normally it's around about maybe 20K, but the volume was like 45 million, which we've been doing about 12. So it was way higher, 3-4x higher, something like that. So yeah, PulseX is very much alive there. All right, so what else there? We got North Face in house there. More buying on Friday. Pulse Chain. PulseX says North Face. How about that? I like that. That is true. And like, Liberty Swap says, they got a lot of capital coming over, not much capital leaving. And we saw earlier with Crypto Solve that a lot of capital actually surprisingly hadn't been sent over. And most of it was still just being held in wallets on Pulse Chain, looking potentially for dip buying, right? They know the 3 weeks is going to be quite volatile with potentially people deciding to sell into Ethereum or stables, etc., and sacrifice that. So we'll see how that goes moving forward. Anyway, Vitalik here, but got a little post, so I thought we'd go through this. Let's make it a little bit bigger, and we can see Richard Hart here. Oh, let's make it even bigger. Right? Let's go full the hog. Let's go full the hog there. Not art with dog, but full the hog. He says Richard Hart might be deliberately making ProveX looks doomed from day one. Now, this is a perspective, right? Now, we've thought about this in Discord. We think about as many scenarios as we can in the Discord. If you haven't joined Discord, I really encourage you to join. We've got the Strategy Club, $35 a month. It is really, really good, guys. I'm constantly passing intel there. So if you're busy or you want to get some of the best intel, definitely get in there. And it's only like just over $1 a day. So fantastic value. Join up today. Links in the video description and also posted at the top of the X protocol. We'll look forward to seeing you in there. We've got a bunch of great people in our Discord. So join up today as well. And we're pretty much seeing just about everything on Pulse Chain, right? So you got some good experience there as well as some good TA guys, etc., etc. So see you in Strategy Club today. Richard Hart might be deliberately making ProveX look doomed from day one to reward the biggest believers. First, he starts with the name Mr. Prove. I got Mr. Prove there. Then casually switches to ProveX as if it were improvised, and like he just woke up with the new idea overnight. Indeed. And we saw some evidence around that, right, with websites and things. Then he runs a last-minute logo contest and reportedly ends up with the $25 licensed stock style logo that Shillgates found in a single Google search. Yeah, that was pretty funny. So it was cool. But well, congratulations to Shillgates. He got 10K, so well done. After that, he launches the sacrifice phase while Pulse Chain is deep in the red and 20% of sacrifice price. And sentiment is all-time low. And so that's true. He's even flexing 500K sacrifice, which is surprisingly low for anything linked to him. And of course, we've just looked at that. It's now at 870. Too many things are wrong with the sacrifice, says Shillgates here, or Vitalik, Pullerin, I should say. The community is confused. No promotion, no live streams, no YouTube videos, 0 ads, just a few tweets. Now, this is the stuff we're probably going to be looking out for, right? So live stream from Richard. Rich has already indicated that, so that's not the case, right? Now, will we get promotion? Will we see ads pop up? That's what we should reasonably expect to see. And then YouTube videos, well, we should reasonably expect, should we get influencers inspired and start spreading those out? We already see Crypto Coffee out there already. 0 ads, and that's the thing. Will we start seeing ads pop up? That's the question too. You know, soft open, and then really start to ramp it up later on, right? So just a few tweets, he says, but some tweets with some pretty good insights. So, you know, this is all a little bit too bland. But you know, we'll see. He even sent out hundreds of thousands of LCD tablets before the ProveX sacrifice. These tablet display Hex and Pulse Chain websites, even dump tires, but no ProveX. Why run a massive marketing campaign before releasing the new project? Indeed. At this point, one question stands out. Does Richard Hart really want the sacrifice phase to be massive? It all looks messy, but maybe it's strategic. On-chain watchers noted earlier PulseX sacrifice funds moving through privacy tools weeks ago. The total sacrifice of ProveX will likely be small compared to Pulse and PulseX. Well, I think that is going to be the case. I think no one really disagrees with that. Excluding Richard Hart, right, with the funds going in there. And of course, we know there's $650 million of that. So you know, it's just, but we're not thinking about Richard Hart. We're thinking about how much does the public put in, right? How much does independents put in? Perhaps only a few tens of millions, maybe less, is the estimation there. And of course, we did a daily run rate. We ended up with, what did we end up with, 42 or something? Let me just run that again. Well, we actually ended up with 886, right? So we'll do it from that number. So yeah, we had 886, 869. Let's do 869. So as we 869, let's multiply that by 60 days. Yeah, it's a pretty bad number, but that gives us 52 mil, right? Which is kind of interesting. That's the bottom range on the poll that I put out, right? Which is we could get up to. Now let's say we do half of that, right? So it's 25 mil. So I think that's not out of the ballpark. So we've got 870 there. Let's move on. Liquidity would remain extremely low, made up mostly of RH's most committed believers, and that might be exactly the goal, to onboard those who truly believe in him and the project. Fewer participants equals lower liquidity equals fewer sellers when things move, and that's when volatility gets wild. On the other hand, some people think they can get a better entry after the sacrifice phase, like what happened with Pulse Chain. I don't think the opportunity will appear this time. And there is a lot. So that is generally the idea, is that if you don't participate, you could come in afterwards and get a sell-off, right? But what happens if Richard doesn't allow that, right? So that could be pretty interesting too. It would likely happen from the very first candles. There we go. Richard's kind of teased that out too. And look, people may not be able to, if people get ProveX, they may have some sort of locking feature, maybe different from being just variable, right? So Richard's kind of potentially teased that as well. That people can't sell their tokens that easily. In other words, they might have a locking period or something like that. It could actually create a super hype. And if he's also controlling, 90, 95% of the tokens, and the rest of them are kind of, you sacrifice, but you're getting tokens and they're got some sort of locking profile, maybe up to 2 years, who knows? Maybe you get a little bit out every month, that sort of thing. And then you got all the applications ramping up and burning the fees, buying and burning the fees. Then suddenly the token really gets pushed up, and then Richard adds some love to it with some good old buy pressure. Then it's game on, right? So that could be a big scenario that could play out, right? So that's why we're exploring this particular view. Now, we looked at different views, remember, in our first live stream. So now we're just looking at another one with some different angles into the whole thing. The same 50 million that could move ProveX significantly could barely ripple on Pulse Chain because of high liquidity and early sellers that would absorb it instantly. Now, often Pulse Chain, of course, if you're going to move something, you can move Pulse, right? Pulse is the ocean. Everything else is like a ship on the ocean. So Richard talked about that many times before, moving Pulse. And but of course, we do have the sacrifice set, right? So we had 80 players on the Pulse Chain sacrifice that were over $1 million, right? And that includes the big players like Rack and Michelle's consortium, which I think, just from memory, was something like 36 million or more. And then you had the Hex Gold Whale as well, pretty big. I can't remember exactly top of my head what that was, but I think it was like 18 million. In fact, I can pull that up right now. I've got it here. So let's use some accurate numbers, fairly accurate numbers, and let's pull this up and see what those numbers actually were for some of the big sacrifices. Now, the top 80 over $1 million, that was $398 million, guys. $398 million that was sacrificed with them. Yeah, so 36, I said 36, that might have been a PulseX sacrifice. But for Pulse, it was 29.5 million in the main wallet. Now, there were other wallets, of course, part of that consortium. And then Hex Gold Whale, there's 19.6 million. But we did have a couple others underneath there, 19.2, 15 million, 10 million. So, yeah, we had some pretty big wallet holders there, doing over 10 million. In fact, we had 6 that did over 10 million, and a couple were pretty close to 10 million. So, pretty big deal there for the old Pulse Chain sacrifice. And it was a pretty big number. Actually, did I say 80? It was 80. Yeah, so 80, pretty much 80 wallets. So pretty cool. That is some of the stuff there. So $398 million, $298 million, almost $299 million there for that. So we're not expecting that now, of course. That was during the bull market in 21, and Hex, of course, was up around, for Hex, I think PulseX was up around 22 cents or so. And it was also pretty similar range for Pulse Chain sacrifice as well, ending in August, right, 21. And that was before the lead up to Pulse Chain, to Hex's 10,000X later on in about September, right? So pretty big deal there. So we're going to see some stuff there because high liquidity. I'm not afraid to say it. We might be witnessing the ultimate filtering process. Now, we know Richard loves the old shakeouts, and even if it takes forever, but it's there. Fun fact, Richard originally wanted a hexagonal logo, but ended up choosing a shield, symbolically fitting if the plan is to protect the project from weak hands and non-believers. And we've got this little picture here. Didn't have the cash and everything. And then so on. So then we had a couple more posts here from Vitalik. Some people think this is a trap. That's the sacrifice phase exists just to inject new liquidity into Pulse Chain, since core coins can't be sacrificed. I don't think that's the case. Hardly anyone outside Pulse Chain ecosystem will sacrifice for ProveX. So that's the question mark. It may require a lot of promotion to try and get people to do that, especially when you've got the video that we played earlier today with Ivan on Tech printing, pretty mocking of the whole situation. Either participants bring in fresh capital or they sell their coins, core coins, to get funds for the sacrifice. And of course, that's the volatility risk over the next couple of weeks, right? That's potentially why some of the people that sold today are sitting in capital so they can buy any of the dips, right? So that's probably why we've seen that. We've also seen money coming over the bridge from Liberty Swap, indicating that people are also looking for those potential opportunities as well. So yeah, it's pretty interesting there. So it's not all ProveX's opportunity, right? There's a lot of opportunities on Pulse Chain during this process, right? Which could explain recent dip price. I don't see why Richard would want to mislead the very people who already believe in him the most, he says. And then finally, the other possibility, one I don't really believe, but that people put forward, is a darker one, a dark one. That Richard's main goal is to extract value from the community, and this is kind of in line with what Ivan on Tech was purveying, and that his legal win against the SEC might make him feel freer when launching new sacrifice phases. So there we go. There's a couple of thoughts there from Vitalik, and of course it also gives us a little bit of room to discuss some of those ideas. So we're in day 2, essentially. And let's have a look at the numbers here. 869, so no real change at the moment. We had a big jump at the end, though, didn't we? Had a big jump at the end. That was pretty cool. All right, so kind of cool. So let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know your thoughts. So we know Northwest is going to be buying some more PulseChain and PulseX. Yeah, so we're going to see volatility. So why volatility? potentially because people may sell some stuff in, particularly after Richard Hart live stream. Maybe Richard gives them a lot more confidence, momentum. Confidence is such a big deal. Momentum is such a big deal. And if people can see a bit more about what Richard's really trying to achieve, then that could really lift things. And if all the influencers get on board, we already see 3 or 4 influencers already pretty shaken. Some of them even taking their pulse chain stuff down. That sort of place. But if you're either trusting Richard Hart or you're not. At the end of the day, you're either trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together or you're not. And you've got to make sure your pieces of the puzzle are as accurate as possible, right? Because it's easy to trip up on any particular thing. And in Richard's defense, the SEC, like I say, has been over him since the 31st of July, 2022, all the way, 2023, I should say, all the way through to, 7th of July this year. And that was a big problem. Like even Rack and Michelle wasn't launching any of his protocols during that period. He only felt free to do so after that had ended, right? So, big capital like venture capitals, investment capital, they shy away, right? So that's why we saw a big capital exodus out of Pulse Chain 2. And so now we're free. Been free for almost 4.5 months now from the SEC, and now it's time to really ramp up. And so the timing couldn't be better. We also got the market cycle, also I think playing in our favor as well. Even though Bitcoin's rallied quite well, and of course altcoins, many altcoins have done pretty well as well. I don't think we've truly entered into the euphoric era at the moment. We've got the Bitcoin dominance at 60%. That indicates that the altcoin season is still ahead of us. We've got the interest rate cycle really only just starting to warm up, and that might have a few little hiccups potentially in December. We'll see. And we've also obviously got the macro picture from Trump looking amazing, guys. It truly is unbelievable. The golden age of America is coming. 26, 27 looks unbelievable for the U.S. economy. I cannot say it good enough. So it really is crazy. We're seeing big crypto policy coming out of the White House. They're going to go big into crypto, guys. It's a big deal. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Now, we do have some short little term issues there, possibly around the Supreme Court and tariffs, emergency use of tariffs, but hopefully that all goes through. And then we've got obviously the AI theme playing out. I do believe that it is a very profitable play, a transformational play. And I suspect that NVIDIA on the 19th will produce some good results. And that would lead us into December for the rate cut on the 10th. So these short-term blips, we obviously saw the shutdown. Government is probably going to open. And so those 4 issues look like they're going to, hopefully 3 out of 4, if not all 4, will go in our favor. And that will just usher us into a big run on the old crypto, along with the crypto policies from the SEC and from the White House, and the tokenization onto the blockchain, in particular Ethereum, potentially Solana, and hopefully Pulse Chain gets a lot of love out of that too, particularly around privacy with ProveX and many other things. So there's a lot of stuff in the mix there. It is really the golden lineup. I know we've had quite a volatile year this year. But a big part of that is Trump having to reorder the world order, trying to also smash some of the globalist moves. We already see some of them trying to still do things in particular countries. One of my country is one of those where they're still trying to run the globalist program. But he's doing a lot of stuff to try and break that down so that the people really have their freedom to do things, right? So very, very exciting. So I think it's kind of cool. It's going to be in a safer world. 8 wars have been ended. We're going to be in a more prosperous world. $21 trillion expected by the end of the year to be invested. That's unbelievable monies against the U.S. economy of $27 trillion. And of course, they're also looking to deal with the U.S. debt. So think about it. It's dealt with the three big problems: the trade deficit, which was about $1.3 trillion, the federal deficit, which is about $2 trillion. Half of that is debt, and about 20% of that is owned by the Chinese. And also these dealing with the public debt, which I think they're going to start paying down very soon. And it's going to be pretty exciting to see that. And I think they're going to do it in multiple ways. Crypto is going to be one of those. The stablecoin boom, of course, with the Genius Act. And then we're going to have the Clarity Act come in probably before the end of the year. It's going to be pretty exciting stuff. So like I say, just bide time. I think we're looking good. We're also going to get quantitative easing potentially going from tightening to neutral by December and then into easing in a big way. And it's game on, isn't it? It's game on. That money's got to go somewhere. The economy is going to be booming, and things will start to pick up after what was the most aggressive interest rate rise. And Trump's managed to survive that. Oil prices have been pulled down. We've seen that down dramatically, about $17 or so, $18 when Trump came in. The price of the petrol tanks going really down. And now we're also going to be seeing food prices start to go down, medical prices start to go down. So there's lots of cool things coming, guys. And that investment's going to be absolutely ballistic for the US. It really is really, really good. All right, so the macro picture's looking really good. It looks like he's dealt with the world issues, and we've only got a couple of them left. Obviously, Ukraine, Russia, things like that in the mix there. And of course, they've the supply chain. They're reordering the world's supply chain. Very, very key to especially essential services to get them outside of the Chinese sphere of influence and control. And that's been a big move recently too, which is a long time coming, guys. A long time coming. All right, so who else have we got in the chat there? We got Sean O'Malley. US government voted open. Nice there, Sean. Yeah. Now, I said there was a bit of a process, but I think they may have run that through to today. So you're probably quite right there. Thomas C in the house there. Buy the dip. Yeah, game on there. Game on. So, Richard's really free to do a lot of stuff now, right? So on all counts. So let's see. And he's teased about he doesn't care about altcoin season. He cares about pulse chain season. So he's got a plan. And Bretep, the dev, came out yesterday, after the last 24 hours, supporting that, saying, hey, man, pulse chain season is going to be amazing. But is it just going to be a season? Kind of indicating, is that we're going to have something even more sustainable, more bullish than a cycle. So, yeah, well, let's watch out for the magic tricks there. Now, on the one hand, the other hand, if Richard's holding all the ETH, I would like to see, ETH, let the ETH run quite a bit. He could scrape some off, of course, on the way up. But let that ETH turn into billions of dollars, right? Just by holding it, because Tom Lee and the rest of the Wall Street are coming to crypto and they're going to pump that thing up, right? Pumpity pump. Sean O'Malley says bill passed. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I hadn't had a chance to check that, Sean, but it was due about today. So awesome stuff. Thanks, Sean. So yeah, looks like the government's open, guys. So that's bullish. Really, really exciting. All right, so this is day one results. We did a great job. It was a team effort. It was you guys and me, and we did it. And we saw the results. So they haven't really changed too much since we had the day rollover. We're on day 2 now. We're kicking into gear. And of course, I'm just doing the timetable based not on the actual protocol timetable for day 2, but actually the timetable for Richard's launch, right? So yeah, we're ticking away there. So we're already ticking down into day 2, 15 hours to how many hours to go? It's climbing up. So I guess we're climbing towards that next level, 24 hours. All right. It says 1 o'clock though, so it's not too far from when I had it, which was 2:48. An hour and 48 minutes. We've got Thomas C says Turtles Unite. Turtles Unite indeed. All right. So yeah, I mean, Richard Hart's going to be streaming probably in the next day or something. So that's going to, all hell is going to break loose with that, guys. How many people do you reckon will watch the show? 50K? 35 definitely. I think 35 is very easy. Well, will 50K be in? Will 50K? That's quite a big show. Remember, Richard Hart really, when he's in good form, there's no crypto influencer, even the ones with 3 million followers that get higher engagement than him. He really does kick it out. And no founder for sure gets the engagement of Richard Hart. So he is quite unique out there for that. Despite the gatekeeping that he's complained about, his engagement level is through the roof there. Thomas C says, when I get my stimulus, I will pump the chain. Yeah, look, $2,000 checks coming. So I'm not sure how they're coming, but they're coming. 30K easy, huge pumps is FN base. Yeah. Look, and if he gets that, we can see Pulse Chain pumping. And the other thing is because, they're not used for the sacrifice set essentially, but people can obviously sell into the Bridgeton stables and sell, etc. And so it looks like we got buyers for the dips. So 3 weeks we can persevere, I guess. What else are we going to say about that? If he sets a really good tone, helps to explain a bit more, bring it a little bit together, tease a little bit about the chess play. No, he's obviously not going to tell us everything about how he wants to do things. Then yeah, it could be pretty cool. Now, look, he's had 4.5 months. If he wanted to do something, we're going to see. So to keep a look out there. 10th of January is the end of the sacrifice from memory. 10th of January. And what's going to happen then, right? Because we're very bullish about the December part, and obviously we had a lot more volatility than expected because we've got geopolitics involved as well, right? So there's a lot of geopolitics having to come down, and it's great to see the government open up there. I think that's only an extension to January though, so the government shutdowns, so they come all the time. But it was essentially back to the continuing resolution, or CR as they call it, and it was a fairly clean CR with 3 little additions onto it. I say little, but ones that are not material. They were after, Obamacare subsidy extension for a year, which was going to a lot of millionaires as well, right, and illegals as well. So yeah, if you're a taxpayer, you'd be pretty annoyed about that, generally speaking. When will he be streaming? Probably in the next day or two is what he said. So that was yesterday. So, could be within 24 hours. We will see. It may be streaming now, and we don't even know. We don't know. Let's refresh here and go back to Richard Hart, and let's see if he's streaming right now. Maybe he is. Who knows? No, he's not. He's not. His last post was 4 hours ago. We celebrated 700K, and he was pretty happy about that. So yeah, but he is streaming, and if you want to find a stream, it was down here somewhere. Let's see, where was it? Down here somewhere. Not that one. Yeah, it was here. So that's 22 hours ago. He said if I were to stream video right now, which I am not, and won't be till I've written some pages of text. In other words, he's got to write up what he's going to say, put it all together. I've been putting off maybe a day or two. What are these burning questions you have? So that was from him. So it's coming up there. I'm not sure if anyone actually had good questions, but it is what it is. Thomas C says Peter Schiff is live right now. I want to go spam him. Yeah. Tell him to pay back his gold. No, I was kidding. So yeah, that is in the house there. So people are in there at the moment. A big shout out to Just Mike Memes. He's really been crushing it with his memes lately. Obviously, he's using some pretty good software. But hats off to him with the Grok. Imagine they're pretty good. So he must be getting pretty good at his prompts there. David Feather, by the way, if you guys want to watch a stream, he did a stream on the Sacrifice too. I'm streaming live right now on YouTube. That's 21 hours ago, and on Kick. So he had a good stream there as well. So you can go check that out from David Feather. Aaron says, why another sack? He got $1 billion already, and we only got one dev for that. Well, more. It's another capital raise essentially. He's got another product and another capital raise. We'll see what he does with the funds. He can do all sorts of things with the funds potentially. Like I say, there's no guarantee that the tokens are even fully liquid when people get them. They could be on a bonding curve. I mean, you're sacrificing without expectation essentially. So we'll see what happens in that space. Maybe you'll give a bit of a tease on the live stream. We'll see. But that'll be one of the questions that you're asking. Why another sack? But essentially, it's another capital raise. And if you look at it from a positive point of view, from a Magic Cup ride point of view, then the argument would be, well, he's got more capital to pump, ProveX and to pump Pulse Chain, arguably, depending on how he does it. So that's kind of the idea there. Thomas C said, "Lol, yeah. Dude, you're a good live spokesperson. I like this live topics. I'll be quiet for now." From Houston, a big shout there, Thomas C. Welcome there from Houston, Texas, everybody. Well, I'm at the bottom of the world in New Zealand, and we've had it was a bit rainy yesterday, but it's sunny today. Thank goodness. It's a bit windy, but a bit sunny today, so it's nice. We're coming into our summer down here. But we have, it's good to see the community really starting to good stuff here. Brendan says, call RH to join your live stream, Super. Oh, you really want me to call him? I'll give him a call, guys. So I've had a request. We'll see if he's going to come to the door. Richard, let's see. I'm going to sending him a quick call here. Let's see if he's going to come to the door. Hey, Richard, you going to come? All right, let's see what happens. He's coming, guys. He's arrived. Let's see. Richard,
you can get a god candle at any moment. You get a giant candle at any moment because it's easier to get because it takes less economic energy because there's less of it for sale.
So that could always happen in December. Thanks, Richard, for turning up. Thanks, Richard, for turning. Richard's live. He's live here on the Kryptonite Show. So that's a good one, Brendan. Brendan's got a good sense. He's our TA guru inside of our Discord, by the way. So if you're going to join up the Strategy Club, you'll see Brendan there from time to time. Thanks, Richard. Lol. Yeah. All right, if you guys haven't subscribed on YouTube, make sure you smash the subscribe button. We're on 3 YouTube channels, the Kryptonite Show, the Superman Crypto, and Pulse Chain X. So 3 YouTube channels, subscribe. And Pulse Chain X, Pulse Chain X, you're heading up towards a cool subscriber mark. Welcome to all the new users on Pulse Chain X. Really cool to see you guys. Very, very cool. And fun times. Now, we're also streaming on X. And if you just take a moment, if you're on X, don't forget to hit the follow button at the top. Just take a moment to hit the follow button at the top. You guys know Twitter rugged my channel for no reason. They sent me the most ridiculous emails about my channel, which are completely untrue. And I appealed like 10 times, and they would not even reply to any of those. That's what we got dealt with. I've sent those to X. X hasn't responded either. It is really, really pitiful. They don't even respond to the own requests, and they get them, and they don't respond. And so my channel was taken down. I had 6,500 followers at the time, and so by now I'd probably have 8.5 to 12.5 or something like that. It'd be way bigger, but I'm having to rebuild. So you guys help me rebuild. That's pretty much it. Go up the top there and hit the follow button. I'm not sure